Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me and for watching these videos. I'm so glad you're here. I have been guided today to share some things with you that I've learned on my own twin flame journey. I am a twin flame. My twin flame and I are currently in separation. There is a divine purpose why my twin flame and I are separated at this time. And so I can really relate to what you guys are going through. I feel all of the intense emotions that you guys feel. So I was really guided to come on and do this video to share with you what I have learned on this experience. So as many of you know, I am 51 years old. I turned 51 years old this year. I was born in 1969. I first learned about twin flames in, I want to say, like around 25 years ago. And I mentioned in other videos that there were no twin flame readers that did card readings online. Internet just came on. The World Wide Web just came on. And so all I had was bookstores and very limited books available. So I know how you guys feel when you're like, how do I know I met my twin flame? How do I know they're the one? We're in separation. I'm so devastated. I'm so crushed. They're so mean to me. I know how you feel because I experienced my awakening. Although it wasn't until, I want to say, 10 years ago that I first came upon my twin flame. I knew about twin flames. I was awakened to the journey. And I realized back then that I was awakened to it so that I could help others on this journey, because it's not easy. It's the most craziest, most frustrating, most devastating, emotional thing you will ever experience. And some days it feels like, we're just going crazy, but you're not. It's a real phenomenon. It's what it is. You've come across this journey for your own awakening. So for many of us, what happened is maybe out of the blue, we met someone and all of a sudden we feel this indescribable connection that they feel so familiar. It's like there's something about them that intrigues you, that you're fascinated with. Like, this is everything that I went through. There was something so like it has something to do with the way they look somewhat, like physically, but it's more that you're drawn to them and you can't explain why. The more you get to know them, the more you get to see them, the more they're so multifaceted. Like, there's so many things that are interesting about them. And I'll tell you why. Because this person triggered your own awakening to what you are and what you have. And everything that you are intrigued about them, everything that you discover about them, are things that you see. Well, you may not see it within yourself, but they are within yourself, because this person mirrors to you all the beauty that you are. So it's like, imagine we were living on this planet and we never had a mirror. We never knew what a mirror was. And all of a sudden, one day, a mirror just plops in front of us and we're like, wow, that's gorgeous. And you're not realizing that you're looking at yourself, because we never knew what a mirror was, but that's what twin flames are. So you discover this person and all of a sudden they awaken within you feelings. So whether you're already a highly sensitive empath that can feel emotions, and even when you're not, you become someone, when you meet this person, that's able to tap into this pool of emotions. So emotions like attraction, like affinity, love, magnetism, like passion, like all the emotions that we may have not had access to, this person awakens in us. All of a sudden, we feel passion. We want to rip this person's clothes off and just ravish them or be ravished by them. It's like, why? Because they've awakened you. They've awakened your human, spiritual potential. They've awakened in you this energy force that may have been asleep for a long time. And for some of us, it happens early. Even I've had clients where it's happened at a very early age. They were 13 or 15. And they've awakened, they've recognized their twin flame. Because how do you know? Because you just know, you feel it. Sometimes we have these feelings and we don't know the label, and we as humans love to label things. We love to label situations because it just helps us get it organized, get it straight in our heads that, okay, this is what this is. So twin flame is a label that humans made up to label someone who is like a soulmate, because they are like a mate for your soul. But twin flame is like the recognition of your own soul in somebody else. So I have this theory because this is what happened to me. I made a list of all the ideal things that I wanted in my partner. And I kind of gave up on that list because I was dating, I was in relationships, and they were never that person that I thought I wanted. They were close, but they never like ticked all the boxes, and I just kind of gave up on that. And then it wasn't until I was in a relationship and it was very toxic, to the point where I labeled my partner, my ex, as a narcissist. And it was such a horrible breakup. My family members even had to have intervention regarding this connection and why it was like, just to let it go. But for some reason, we couldn't. And what I realized after many months of therapy, because after this connection, I just was so distraught. I was in a very, very low place. And so these therapy sessions to help me learn about my inner child. And my inner child could not let go of this person, because my inner child felt like finally I had someone that I could express my inner child into having fun. Because when I became an adult, I didn't know how to have fun anymore in my life. And so with this person brought out a lot of fun things that we did together, playful things, even bringing back board games into my life, just things that I would have never done as an adult. This person brought back into my life, which I was very grateful for. So when we broke up, I labeled this person as a narcissist. And what I find is that as I, come across social media and people on social media describing narcissists, what I learned in my own experience was I projected my own toxic behaviors, thought processes, thoughts, feelings onto this person. So the narcissist was really me. And that was really hard for me to accept. And I even asked my therapist, I'm like, am I the narcissist? And she denied it. She said no. But in my years of being on this journey of growth and learning, I realized that the narcissist traits were within me. And facing that was one of the hardest things that I had to do. And then I had to get over the shame and the guilt and the embarrassment of all that, until I have come to understand that that was my path. I never realized that my inner child wasn't fully developed in the sense of not being a narcissist and actually hearing another person, caring about another person, not it all being about me. So I know I'm kind of veering off twin flame, but in my experience, the inner child has a lot to do with my twin flame journey, because my inner child has the ability to sabotage my success. My inner child has the ability to sabotage my happiness, because my inner child is a part of me, and my inner child has these experiences and stores all these memories, feelings that has happened. So you meet your twin flame, you're attracted, and you're just drawn to them like a moth to a flame. And when you get together, you experience them, you experience wanting to be with them until it falls apart. And the reason why it falls apart is because they are still our mirror. And what we are seeing in this mirror, in them, is our inner child's filter. So we're projecting onto them our woundedness, our anger, our hate, our resentment, our, like, everything that we have experienced and suppressed. We've energetically, emotionally, like, we've stored that into our being, into our bodies, and it's just kind of there. And what we are not taught is how to release those stored memories. The reason why we meet our twin flame is not only to awaken to our emotions, to our spiritual selves, but to release what is blocking us from being our true essence, from being our higher selves, our true selves. And our true selves is that we are perfect, whole, and complete. So on our journeys, our twin flame mirrors to us how we truly feel about ourselves. So if we carry shame, which I did, if we carry woundedness, which I did, and I still do, the situation mirrors that. So no matter how much both you and your twin flame want to be together, until we break through those blocks and barriers that hold us back, it's always going to be, there's always going to be conflict, because they're only mirroring us the conflict within ourselves that's not allowing this divine energy to just flow through us, because we have these energy, emotional blocks that need to be healed. And healing doesn't mean that, it doesn't mean a bad thing. It just means we're letting go of what no longer serves us. So think of a plant. A plant grows, and when there are weeds, then it blocks the growth of the plant. So just like us, the weeds are negative thinking, negative thought patterns that we don't even realize that we are exhibiting or doing. False beliefs that inhibit growth, that inhibit flow, that inhibit the energy flow. Hurt memories that we suppress because we haven't processed them. They all get stuck like weeds, which prevents the energy from flowing, which prevents the plant from thriving. So that's all healing is getting back into alignment so that the energy flows. And we know that energy is flowing when everything in our life is flowing. There's nothing that is stuck or stagnant or not moving forward. So healing doesn't mean that we've been damaged, or healing doesn't mean that it has to be painful and we drudge up the hurt and pain that we experienced or the trauma. No, it just means being assisted to let go of what we didn't realize was stuck there, that we don't realize our inner child is holding on to. How do we know we have an inner child? We are emotional creatures. Some of us find it easier to feel our feelings. Some of us don't have access to our emotions. That is not right or wrong. It's just how we're brought up sometimes. The twin flame journey does awaken you to your emotions. So it can be very overwhelming for those of us who aren't in touch as easily to our emotions. For those of us who are empaths, we've been feeling our entire lives, it's also very overwhelming because it dredges up a lot of pain as well. So you're looking at this person and all of a sudden you see them in a different light. They're not this beautiful, amazing person anymore. You're seeing almost, you saw the light and then now you're seeing the dark side of them. You're seeing them as being aloof, absent, unavailable, uncaring, unloving. Did I say selfish? Mean, insensitive. You're seeing them as unappreciative, unattentive, all those things. Guess what? Those things are the traits that are within us, that we are exhibiting to ourselves. So again, it's still the mirror. Whatever we see in our twin flame is mirroring how we're being. And that was like mind-blowing for me. I'm like, no, it's them. I kept wanting to point the finger that it's them. I couldn't see it was me because I had to be right. I had to be justified. My point of view was correct and theirs wasn't. I was making them wrong, which also is a mirror in how I make myself wrong. There is no right or wrong. In my experience, it's all about growth and evolution. Yes, there are mistakes and we make mistakes, but they are lessons to learn from. It doesn't have to mean that the person's bad. It doesn't mean that we're bad. It is what it is, and it's for our growth and experience. I just don't want my hair to cover the mic, so I apologize. I always fuss with my hair. So yeah, you're seeing this as they're not stepping up. It's a mirror because we're not stepping up in our own lives. They don't care that they're not, they don't care about me. They don't love me. They don't appreciate me. They're a mirror. They're showing us that we're not loving ourselves. We're not loving our inner child. We're not being attentive. We're not paying attention to our inner child. We're not paying attention to our own needs. So we're saying, they're not loving me the way I need. That's a mirror. We're not filling our own cup of love. We are taught in this world, in this society, that love comes from outside of us, that it comes from someone else, when we really need to be taught that love comes from within us. Love comes from our innate or inner connection to the universe, to the source that is always turned on, is always available to us. But we've been conditioned to think that love is limited because it comes from a person. And we will never be satisfied, not even by our twin flame, unless we learn to fill our own cups of love first. So you're on this journey, you're like, how do I know they're my twin flame? It's because when you feel awakened, when you feel like all of a sudden all of these emotions come up that are painful, that are wounded, that remind us of what happened to us when we were young. We felt rejected by someone, by an ex. We felt rejected as a child by someone. We felt abandoned. And it, whether it happened in childhood or it happened, 2 relationships ago. So we know that there are twin flame because they awaken us to our true selves. And at first, we see them, they awaken in us this beauty, then they awaken in us our shadow. Shadow's not a bad thing. Everything is in balance. There's light, there's dark. There's yin and yang. Light and darkness, fear and love. So this world that we're in is it's all about polarity. So there's always 2 sides. So we see this beautiful side that in this twin flame, then we see the shadow side, which are reflections of us. So how else do you know they're your twin flame? You can't explain why you're drawn to them, and how this connection is so deep, and it like transforms you into really wanting to understand things on a deeper level. So this mirror that you're looking into is all about you. So however you see your twin flame, whether we're in separation or we're in communication or we're actual union, however you see them in every moment is a reflection of you, is you seeing you. Okay? So when we call our twin flame a narcissist, you're calling yourself out, as I did when I was, when I first encountered my true twin flame. I was like lashing out, and all my emotions were being directed at him, because they're like the easy target. You want to blame them for why you're not feeling happy. But it's not that anything that they're doing, it's because they brought up within us all these suppressed emotions that haven't been dealt with, that haven't been processed, that haven't been released. And so in my healing sessions, it's about releasing all this pent up anger, hate, resentment, feelings that stem from trauma, hurt feelings, all these issues that we've experienced, our inner child holds on to. So healing just means letting it go. And sometimes we don't know how to let it go. We're not taught in school how to let things go. We're taught how to just hold on for survival. And that's kind of, where we've been at. But with the healing, and just in general, healing energies on the planet, we are all awakening to our divinity, to our divine purpose. And so, you've met your twin flame when they've awakened your spiritual journey. And we're like, well, what's a spiritual journey? How am I spiritual? We are all made up of energy, and it's been proven. We can Google it, right? We are all energy. So spiritual is just another way of describing energy. It doesn't have to be woo-woo. It doesn't mean being super religious. It doesn't mean, worshiping, a goddess. It just means identifying ourselves as not only physical, our 3D body, not only as, creatures of, who feel emotions, who can think and process thought, but also we are energy. So spiritual is just another way of describing us as energy beings. So energy works differently than the 3D. It works differently than our bodies, because our bodies, we can see energy, we can't really see. What's great is that when we see our physical bodies as a manifestation of the energy that we're vibrating at, or the energy within our physical body, then we begin to understand that everything stems from the energy first. So our well-being, our health, also depends on the energy. Our well-being of our relationships depend on the energy of the relationships. Energy also is emotion. Emotion is energy. And that's the energy that we can feel, that we feel those different types of energies. Some of them are lighter energies when we're feeling happy and joyful, and then there's heavier, denser energies, which is like anger, resentment. So the twin flame journey awakens you to these energies that you've been trying to suppress Trust me, I know. My 30s were about suppressing these emotions that I had since I was a child. I had a lot of resentment. I had a lot of envy, jealousy. I was very impatient. I had a lot of resentment, especially to my parents, because at the time it was just easy to take it out on them, but they were just reflecting what was within me. So my 30s were all about, I'm just going to show the world that everything's fine, that I'm just going to smile and look pretty. I was modeling at that time on television. I'm just going to look pretty and pretend that my life is perfect. It was not perfect. Inside, I had all these feelings, and I was in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of turmoil. But what I just did is I painted on a smile every day, did my job, and pretended everything was fine. And all of those feelings come out in unhealthy ways. So it was affecting my family. It was affecting my relationships in my family. It was affecting my second marriage at the time. I was going through a lot of toxic emotions. It affected my like being a mother. I couldn't be a mother. I couldn't be a loving, nurturing mother because I had all these hurt feelings. I had abandonment issues. So how could I provide as a mother when I was not even dealing yet with my emotions of abandonment? So rather than be abandoned, I would abandon my partner. I would abandon a situation. I would not fully commit to anything. So it's all this journey, and the twin flame connection awakens that. So all these feelings come out from our childhood, from our experience, from even all our relationships up to our twin flame. Our twin flame, the connection brings everything up, brings up all the energies. So the twin flame journey is about energy. It's about releasing the energies that no longer serve us. So I like to refer to the term of healing. Because even when I first, came onto this journey, I'm like, well, why is it just me that has to heal? Like, how come no one else in my family, how come they're fine? And I didn't really want to take it on because I felt like I was damaged, and I felt like, well, that's pretty shitty. Like, that's unfair. Why is it just me? And in my experience, in this practice, even in my, working with hundreds of clients, it's across the board. It's the journey of every human being, whether we know it or not, whether we acknowledge it or not. Like when we come onto this planet as a baby, we're this pure energy of just happiness. But then when we're planted in soil of negativity and fear, we then become conditioned. We then become magnets for all, not only happy experiences, but negative experiences. So healing is just releasing that negative energy, the negative experience, the attachment to what had happened, because we identify it and then we're not able to let it go. So healing just means letting go. And I myself had, I'm still on my healing journey. That's why I'm not yet with my twin flame, is because I have yet to let go of my insecurities, my doubt in myself, my pain that gets re-triggered. Like, I'm still learning to rise above that. That's why I can really relate to all of you, what you're going through, because I am on that journey with you. So, you've met your twin flame because you've somehow transcended, and you're able to look at yourself and you're able to see things that you couldn't see before. It's truly an awakening. It's an eye-opener. Not only do you get to see yourself in a different light, but you get to see the world in a different light. You get to see others in a different light. You get different perspectives. That's how you know you met your twin flame. It's not just about the shallow surface, everyday, unawakened, like, program that we get stuck in, like the matrix. We're out of the matrix. Once we've met our twin flame, you're awakened to growing, to being your full potential, you know? So I want to say that it happens differently for everyone, but it is the same journey. It's a journey of awakening. It's awakening to our higher selves, awakening to our true selves, awakening to see what's really there. Why are we being blocked from our success, our true love, our health, our finances, our calling in life? Why are we blocked? Even the most successful people on the planet still have, I want to say, breakdowns, because we are emotional creatures. We are so multifaceted. We're not just 3D bodies. We are energetic. We have emotions. And when we don't know how to release the past, it comes up as blocks. So even the best of us experience breakdowns through health, physical health, mental health, emotional health, because we haven't addressed our energetic health. So the twin flame awakens you to your energy. So that's how you know. You have a higher calling. You're meant to help others. You're meant to be of service, whatever that is, even if that's being, you know, a wonderful salesperson. Your energy spreads to the people that you serve. You know, when we work in restaurants and we serve, that's your way of serving, by bringing your highest vibration. You make someone else's day, or you share your light. For those of us that create things, you create, and that energy, your healing energy, or whatever energy you have within you, is created in your creation, and you share that creation with the world. You know, even if it's, you know, being a makeup artist, that's creating. Even if it's just putting makeup on yourself. If it's, you know, if it's working in an office, you're serving others through your skills that they hired you for, that they value you for. Your higher calling is, you know, having a harmonious, thriving, healthy family. You know? Whatever you're being called to at this moment is your highest calling. But if you feel like there's still something more out there, then there is, and you're even being called to the next level of your higher calling. And that could be more like what can help people on their growth, on their spiritual journey, on their twin flame journey, or with their inner child. Whatever it is, you share this with your twin flame. You guys are like a team. And when you are combined, you are like a power couple on the planet. Your energies combined are what's uplifting the planet, whether you're in separation or not. So my twin flame is on his life purpose of spreading love in the way that he does it all over the planet. He travels to every part of the world, and he reaches millions of people in his work. And so the universe is saying he needs to do that. And I need to do this work by reaching all of you. We still have the same purpose of serving the planet, of uplifting the planet, but the universe is saying the world needs you to really focus separately, because your yearning for union will keep you going, is the fuel that will keep you going on your life purpose. There is a reason for separation, because if you were together, you would just be, say in an ideal situation, you had released all of your wounds and you were in alignment. You were somewhat in a high vibration, somewhat, you can call it enlightened, and they were on the same page. You would just be in bliss, and you wouldn't be called to do anything but just be in bliss. But our purpose of being on this planet is to help it heal, especially now. Especially now. And that's why the universe is keeping us in separation, because we are being called to work on healing ourselves. As we heal ourselves, as we remember our wholeness, that vibration spreads, and it awakens other twin flames, and it awakens them to their wholeness. So that's our job. That's why we're in separation. So we can either spend our time nitpicking on the 3D. They're doing this, they're not doing this. What time are they coming? They're taking forever. They're slacking on their growth and journey. We can do that. Or we can focus on ourselves, on how are we healing? How are we bringing healing to the planet? Because that's what the universe wants us to do. And the sooner we get really like definite or like focused on our calling, on our purpose, on our mission, the more the universe can bring us together, because we're like this well-oiled machine that's, flowing and contributing while thriving and being healthy, whole, and complete in all areas of life. When your twin flame is on, when they're exhibiting that and we're exhibiting that, the universe says yes. For some of us, it's taken forever. Trust me, I've been on this journey for a long time. I first encountered my twin flame 10 years ago. We are very connected and yet physically apart. But I've never felt more connected to my twin flame. And how I felt more connected was being on this journey of helping other twin flames, of helping twin flames gain insight through card readings, helping myself heal through providing healings for others. This is my motivation. This calling, this work that I'm doing is because I want union with my twin flame, as I know you do. So let's get on our purpose. Let's stop feeling sorry for ourselves and stop victimizing ourselves as, they're not wanting to be with us, boo-hoo. Stop. I was doing that too for a long time, until I had to learn. I had to listen to what the universe was telling me, and the universe was saying, get on your purpose. Be fully self-expressed, which I still have to work on. I'm not fully self-expressed yet. And that's why I'm still working on that, so that I could be with my twin flame. My twin flame's fully self-expressed, but he is still healing as well. And that's what's keeping us in separation. So I want to share this with you to let you know that, first of all, in the grand scheme of things, time really doesn't matter, because when you are in union, you'll be so happy. That's not really a good, time doesn't exist, because all this time that it's taken is all the time that we needed to grow to be that divine partner. All this time that it took is taking them as well. So the sooner we get on our life's purpose, the sooner we release and let go of the past, the sooner we can come into union. So it's one thing that we're doing that, but if they're not aware of it, sometimes we have to carry that, but we carry the energy that awakens them. So even if they're not actively healing or releasing, they are, because that's what the universe is providing. The energies on the planet are about healing, are about oneness, coming back into harmony. So let's not be focused on our twin flame and what they're doing and not doing, because that's where we get stuck. That's when the connection does not move forward, is when we are too focused on them. When we're too focused on them, it means we're not doing our life's purpose and we're not healing. It's because we don't want to do the work. That's why we're so focused on them. So please stay tuned for the next video, because I will be doing a reading for all of you. So I hope this was really helpful. Let me know, comment below if you would like more of these guidance on, this journey, because that's part of my purpose, is to help guide others who are on this twin flame journey. So again, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching these videos. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for subscribing and for following me on TikTok and Instagram. Please message me to purchase your healing sessions. Again, it's to help us on this journey, help us to release the past so we can move forward, so we can be the leader in this twin flame connection, and we lead our twin flame to their healing. So again, thank you so very much, and until next time, I'm wishing you all so much love and peace.